The story begins in a beautiful village, home to the Viking people for the past 7 generations. This village is known for one major problem: dragons. These creatures frequently attack, stealing livestock, especially sheep. Despite the danger, the villagers are fearless and confront the dragons with courage. Among the residents is a young boy named Hiccup. Though he is the son of the village chief, he doesn't resemble a Viking in appearance or behavior. Unlike the strong and bold villagers, Hiccup is seen as clumsy and often ends up doing things the wrong way. During dragon attacks, the other villagers prefer he stays inside rather than getting involved.
What are you doing here?
Get inside! Get back inside!
What are you doing out? Get inside!
That's Stoic the Vast, chief of the tribe.
While the other children of Hiccup's age support their elders in battle, he is assigned to assist a man who forges weapons. Even in this task, he tends to mess things up. Still, Hiccup dreams of becoming a brave Viking like his father, someone respected and admired. As chaos unfolds, Hiccup sees this as his opportunity. He wants to capture a dragon to prove his worth. Driven by the desire for respect and acceptance, he prepares to take his shot at achieving something remarkable. Since no one trusted him, Hiccup decided to take matters into his own hands. He brought out a special cannon designed to capture dragons. As the mysterious dragon, Night Fury, known locally as Toothless, flew overhead, Hiccup tried to aim, but the creature's incredible speed made it nearly impossible to see. However, as the night sky was filled with stars, Hiccup noticed a brief silhouette crossing in front of them. Trusting his instincts, he fired the cannon in that direction. To his surprise, the net fired from the weapon hit its mark. The Night Fury was struck and fell somewhere in the distant forest. Excited by his unexpected success, Hiccup looked around and shouted in celebration, eager to share his victory. But no one was there to witness it. Suddenly, another massive and dangerous dragon appeared nearby. Terrified, Hiccup ran for his life. From afar, his father saw him being chased and rushed to his rescue, managing to save Hiccup just in time. Unfortunately, in the chaos, many dragons escaped due to the distraction caused by saving Hiccup. This deeply disappointed his father, the village chief, who had always hoped his son would grow into a brave and capable Viking. Hiccup tried to explain that he had hit the Night Fury and even managed to trap it, insisting he wasn't lying this time. But his father, already frustrated, dismissed him and told him to go inside. Once again, nobody believed Hiccup's story.
Okay, but I hit a Night Fury. Oh, it's not like the last few times, Dad. I mean, I really actually hit it. Can't stop myself. I see a dragon and I have to just kill it, you know? It's who I am, Dad.
Oh, you're many things, Hiccup. But a dragon killer is not one of them.
Hiccup felt disappointed as he returned to his house. Even though no one believed him, he was sure he had caught the Night Fury. Determined to prove it, he quietly left and went to the forest, hoping to find the spot where the dragon had fallen. He searched for a long time, but couldn't find any trace. Just as he began to lose hope, he noticed a broken tree nearby. It looked as if something had crashed into it. Following the trail, he moved ahead and soon discovered the Night Fury, trapped tightly in the net. At first, Hiccup was filled with pride. This was his chance to earn the respect of his village. He drew out a knife, ready to kill the dragon. But as he stood there, staring into the dragon's frightened eyes, he found himself unable to go through with it. He realized that he didn't have the heart to kill a helpless creature. Instead, he chose to set it free. As soon as he cut the ropes, the dragon pounced and pinned him to the ground. Hiccup froze, thinking it was all over for him. But to his surprise, the Night Fury didn't harm him. It stared at him for a moment, then let him go and took flight. However, the dragon couldn't fly properly. It was clear that something was wrong. Despite its efforts, it kept falling back to the ground. Hiccup returned home confused and restless. He couldn't understand what had just happened. Meanwhile, his father, the chief of the village, gathered everyone and declared that they must find and kill the dragon to ensure their safety. One of the villagers reminded him that no one who had gone to that place had ever returned. Still, the chief asked who was willing to go with him. At first, no one raised their hand. Then, he announced that whoever stayed behind would have to look after Hiccup. Hearing this, everyone quickly agreed to join the chief.
Find the nest and destroy it. The dragons will leave. They'll find another home. Those who stay will look after Hiccup. Yeah, that's more like it.
No one wanted the responsibility of watching over Hiccup. Before leaving, the chief turned to his close friend and asked him to stay back and train the young villagers. His friend suggested that Hiccup should be included in the training too. At first, the chief hesitated, saying that Hiccup wasn't like the others and a dragon might kill him. But his friend reminded him that Hiccup would have to learn eventually, and he couldn't be protected forever. Reluctantly, the chief agreed. Later that evening, when Hiccup came home, his father tried to tell him that he could now join the training. But Hiccup wasn't excited. After what happened in the forest, when he couldn't bring himself to kill the dragon, he began to doubt himself. He felt that maybe he wasn't meant to fight dragons at all. Hiccup knew deep down that he didn't have the heart to kill anyone, not even a dragon. But before he could express his thoughts, his father interrupted and firmly told him that he had decided Hiccup would begin dragon training. Hiccup tried to reason with his father, suggesting that there were already enough people to fight dragons, and maybe he could learn to cook instead. But his father disagreed.
Hiccup.
Dad,
Dragon training. You start in the morning.
I'm really very extra sure that I won't.
It's time, Hiccup.
Can you not hear me?
This is serious, son.
He insisted that Hiccup had to learn how to kill dragons. After this conversation, his father left with the others to search for the dragon's nest, leaving Hiccup behind with the rest of the villagers. Hiccup began his dragon training, but he didn't do well. He wasn't like the other kids. He was weaker and lacked their physical strength. During the training, they were told that dragons always attacked their prey and aimed to kill. But Hiccup couldn't help but wonder, if that were true, then why didn't the dragon he encountered kill him? With that thought, Hiccup returned to the same place where he had last seen the dragon, Night Fury, Gusain Rot. To his surprise, the dragon was still there. He was trying to fly, but kept failing. It was clear that something was wrong with his tail, and Hiccup didn't quite understand why he couldn't fly. He watched the dragon for a while, made a sketch of him, and quietly returned home. But he also realized something important. The dragon was hungry. He had seen him trying to catch fish but failing. So, Hiccup decided to help him. Although there was no information in the village's dragon book about Night Fury, Hiccup wanted to learn more. While his training sessions continued, where he continued to struggle, he also started secretly bringing fish for the dragon, hoping to gain his trust and understand him better. Toothless eats the fish that Hiccup offers, and gradually, a unique bond forms between the two. One evening, while Hiccup is sitting with his fellow trainees, one of them makes a cruel statement, claiming he would cut off a dragon's limbs. Their trainer explains that the most effective way to defeat a dragon is by disabling its wings and tail. Without flight, a dragon is practically dead. Later that night, Hiccup returns. Determined to help, Hiccup tries to build several versions of the tail wing. Each attempt brings him closer, though none are perfect. But as he continues working with Toothless, Hiccup gains deeper insight into dragon behavior. Back in the training sessions, this new knowledge begins to show. Hiccup surprises everyone by easily controlling various dragons. He had discovered, for example, that dragons fear eels, a type of fish, and that gently tickling a dragon under the neck can lull it to sleep. These small but significant facts give Hiccup a major advantage in training, though he keeps his secret friendship hidden from everyone. The children who ignored Hiccup slowly begin to accept him. They even start sitting with him at mealtimes, something they never did before. Everyone is surprised at the sudden change. How is Hiccup managing to handle dragons so well? Among the group is a girl named Astrid, a strong and skilled warrior whom Hiccup admires deeply. Astrid begins to suspect that something is not right. She senses that Hiccup is hiding something from the rest of the group. Meanwhile, Hiccup continues working on improving Toothless's tail wing. This time, He adds a system that allows him to control the artificial fin while riding on Toothless's back. Since the dragon can no longer steer on his own, Hiccup must manually adjust the wing during flight to help Toothless navigate properly. This means the dragon cannot fly without him. With the new design in place, Hiccup and Toothless take to the skies together, soaring freely and exploring faraway lands. Their bond grows stronger with every flight. Back in the village, the dragon training comes to an end. According to tradition, the student who performs best is awarded the chance to kill a dragon in front of the entire village. Hiccup, to everyone's amazement, finishes first. But now that Hiccup has discovered the truth about dragons, that they are not mindless beasts, but rather misunderstood creatures, he doesn't want to hurt them. The thought of killing one is unbearable. Astrid becomes more suspicious than ever. Just days ago, Hiccup could barely pass the basic training. Now he's the top student. She is convinced he must be keeping something secret, possibly training with a real dragon. Astrid, still filled with suspicion, decides to follow Hiccup. She quietly trails him until he reaches the hidden spot where Toothless, the Night Fury, waits. Panicking, Astrid prepares to run back and tell the others. But before she can, Hiccup quickly mounts Toothless and swoops her off the ground. In a playful move, he hangs her by her belt from a tree branch and insists that he has something important to show her. Once she calms down, Hiccup helps her onto Toothless's back.
Hiccup! Get me down from here!
You have to give me a chance to explain.
Now get me down.
Toothless, down, gently.
At first, the dragon behaves unpredictably, soaring higher than expected. Astrid clutches tightly, clearly frightened by the height. She apologizes, admitting she was wrong about Hiccup. Toothless then begins to glide more smoothly, carrying them high above the clouds. The view is breathtaking, and Astrid is amazed by the beauty of it all. Her fear slowly turns into wonder. Suddenly, a group of dragons appears nearby, and Toothless starts flying along with them. Hiccup tries to steer him away, but Toothless doesn't respond. He is determined to follow the group. They fly to a hidden location, the legendary dragon nest. This is the very place Hiccup's father has been searching for over the years. Here, Hiccup and Astrid witness something incredible. A massive, terrifying dragon much larger than any they've seen is surrounded by the other dragons. The smaller dragons are dropping food into the giant dragon's pit, clearly out of fear. Hiccup and Astrid realize the truth. The dragons that attack their village are not doing it out of aggression. They are being forced to steal food to feed this enormous beast. If they return empty-handed, the massive dragon will kill them. Now, the two of them fully understand what's really going on. Shocked by this revelation, Astrid urges Hiccup to return and tell his father. She reminds him that the Vikings have been searching for this nest for generations, and now that they've found it, they must act. But Hiccup refuses. He knows that if his father finds out, he will attack the nest. Meanwhile, Hiccup's father returns to the village empty-handed. His search for the dragon nest was unsuccessful. But now all attention turns to Hiccup, who is expected to prove himself in front of the entire village the next day. The day of the final dragon trial arrives. The entire village gathers in the arena. For the first time, Hiccup's father stands proudly before the crowd, declaring that his son is finally a true Viking. Today, he says, Hiccup will slay a dragon and earn the honor and respect of their people. Cheers fill the air as Hiccup enters the arena. The villagers chanted his name, expecting a great victory. But when the dragon is released and stands before him, Hiccup does something unexpected. He throws away his shield, his helmet, and his weapon. He doesn't want to fight. He wants to prove to them that dragons are not the monsters they believe them to be. As the dragon cautiously approaches, it begins to calm under Hiccup's presence. The crowd watches in stunned silence. At that moment, Hiccup's father assumed that the dragon would attack his son. In panic, he struck the arena railing with his hammer, creating a loud sound that startled the dragon. Enraged by the noise, the dragon turned its attention to Hiccup and began charging toward him. Hiccup cried out loudly for help. Although he was far away, Toothless, also known as the Night Fury, heard his call. Despite his broken tail fin, he sensed that Hiccup's life was in danger. Without wasting a moment, he began running toward the arena with urgency. Meanwhile, the dragon prepared to strike Hiccup. Astrid, realizing the danger, rushed into the arena to try to protect him, but there was nothing she or anyone else could do in time. Just as the dragon was about to strike, Toothless arrived and leapt between them. He fought the dragon fiercely, defending Hiccup with everything he had. Everyone in the arena watched in shock. None of them had ever seen such a powerful and unique dragon before. Instead of thanking Toothless, the villagers panicked. They saw him as a threat and tried to capture him. Hiccup pleaded with them to stop, insisting that the dragon meant no harm, but no one listened. As Toothless tried to flee, he was cornered. In desperation, he lashed out and attacked Hiccup's father. Just when it seemed like he might strike a fatal blow, Hiccup shouted out again, this time stopping Toothless in his tracks. Thanks to Hiccup's voice, Toothless calmed down. But despite Hiccup's pleas for mercy, the villagers managed to capture the dragon. Hiccup insisted that they let him go, telling everyone that the Night Fury was innocent and had only tried to protect him. But no one listened to Hiccup, and Toothless, the Night Fury, was captured. Despite everything, Hiccup pleaded with his father to release him, insisting that the dragon had only acted in his defense and meant no harm. His father, however, remained firm. He reminded Hiccup that this dragon had killed many of their people, but Hiccup responded passionately, telling him that their own people had also killed thousands of dragons, unaware of the real reason behind the dragon attacks. He explained that the dragons weren't stealing food out of aggression. They had no choice. If they didn't bring food to their island, they would become food themselves. This mention of the island immediately caught his father's attention. He had spent years trying to discover its location. He asked Hiccup if he had seen the island. Hiccup admitted that he hadn't seen it directly, but Toothless had taken him there. Only dragons knew the way to their hidden nest. Realizing this was the only lead he had ever got, Hiccup's father understood that their only way to reach the island was by using the dragon itself. So he and his warriors prepared their ship, tied up the captured Night Fury, and set sail. They traveled to the area where dragons always seemed to disappear into the sky. Once there, they followed subtle signs, clues left behind by Toothless, to track the dragon's path. Eventually, these signs led them to the hidden dragon nest. But even after Hiccup had warned them about the danger that lay ahead, something no one could defeat, his father refused to believe him. They continued forward, unaware of the terrifying challenge waiting for them. After reaching the location, all the Vikings entered the mountain cave where the dragons lived. At first, it appeared empty, but as soon as they stepped inside, hundreds of dragons began to fly out in panic. One of the Vikings joked, wondering if they had won the battle without even fighting. But suddenly, the ground started shaking. It wasn't just a mountain. It was the lair of the enormous dragon that lived deep within the earth. The monstrous beast began to emerge, towering over everyone with a terrifying presence. As it came into view, the Vikings panicked and ran outside to save their lives. Realizing the danger, Hiccup's father made a bold decision. He told his companion that he would act as bait to distract the massive dragon. His friend immediately agreed to help him. Just then, Hiccup and his friends arrived, each riding a dragon they had befriended. Together, they launched an attack to divert the creature's attention away from the others. Meanwhile, Toothless, the Night Fury, was still chained aboard a boat nearby. The gigantic dragon noticed it and struck the boat with its massive claw, sending it sinking into the sea. Hiccup quickly dove in, trying to release Toothless from the trap, but he couldn't open the mouth mechanism binding him. At that moment, Hiccup's father appeared. He helped pull Hiccup out of the water, then turned back and jumped into the sea himself. With one strong push, he released Toothless from the trap. Toothless immediately brought Hiccup's father to the surface, saving his life. Once rescued, Hiccup climbed onto Toothless's back, preparing to fight. At that moment, Hiccup's father turned to him and, with a softened expression, told his son he was proud of him. He apologized for his earlier behavior and for not understanding him. Hiccup, moved by the moment, also asked for forgiveness. It was a significant shift. The man who once felt ashamed of his son now felt nothing but pride. With the emotional moment behind them, Hiccup climbed onto Toothless, ready for the final battle. He and the Night Fury rose into the sky, deliberately drawing the monstrous dragon's attention. The gigantic beast locked onto them and began to chase them furiously. Hiccup and Toothless soared higher, pushing through the thick clouds, leaving the dragon disoriented below. Taking advantage of the dragon's limited vision in the cloud cover, Hiccup and Toothless launched multiple attacks, targeting its massive wings. Each strike weakened the creature further. Infuriated, the enormous dragon unleashed a torrent of fire, but one powerful blast struck Toothless's artificial tail fin. The wing caught fire, impairing their flight. With the fake tail damaged, Hiccup and Toothless began plummeting toward the ground. The giant dragon followed closely behind, diving with incredible speed. As they neared the earth, Hiccup gave the signal, and Toothless, at the last possible moment, pulled upward into a sharp climb. The larger dragon, unable to match the maneuver in time, crashed into the ground with devastating force. Toothless began losing control as his wings started to tear under pressure. In a last powerful move, he unleashed a stream of fire that struck the massive dragon directly in its open mouth. With its wings severely damaged, the gigantic beast could no longer remain airborne. It crashed violently into the ground, causing a massive explosion. To escape the blast, Hiccup and Toothless tried to ascend again, but by then, Toothless's artificial wing had caught fire. Unable to maintain control, the two fell into the same inferno caused by the dragon's impact. Everyone in the village, including Hiccup's father, feared the worst. As they rushed to the crash site, they found no trace of Hiccup, only Toothless lay there. Assuming the boy had perished, his father broke down, overwhelmed with grief and regret, asking for his son's forgiveness. But in a heartwarming twist, Toothless slowly unfolded his wings, and there, protected within, was Hiccup. The dragon had shielded him from the fire, saving his life. Later, Hiccup regained consciousness in his room, with Toothless by his side, visibly relieved. But when Hiccup tried to get up, he noticed something had changed. One of his legs had been lost in the battle. In its place was a prosthetic. Just as Toothless had lost part of his tail, Hiccup now shared a similar fate, symbolizing their deep, unbreakable bond. When he stepped outside, Hiccup was surprised to see dragons everywhere, living peacefully among the villagers. The conflict was over. Humans and dragons were no longer enemies. They were partners. Astrid stood by his side, proud and affectionate. A new tail fin had been made for Toothless, just like the new leg for Hiccup. And now, Hiccup, Toothless, and their friends flew together, guardians of a new world where dragons and Vikings lived in harmony. If you enjoy this story, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing animated movie summaries. See you in the next adventure.